I call shame and guilt pseudo feeling states. They're not actually real core feeling states, but they have a very visceral experience in our body. Most people feel this tightening around their core. The guilt and shame are actually descended from thought forms, some belief, some idea. Shame being that there's something wrong with me, guilt being that I did something wrong. My experience is that when we're at the effect of shame and guilt, it actually blocks us from feeling our feeling states. We just get wrapped up in these eddies and these stories about ourselves and this whole cringing, instead of like feeling the sadness, feeling the fear that comes up, feeling the anger even, feeling the sexual feelings, a lot of sexual shame stuff. This is how you know shame and guilt are present, because they shut you up. You stop revealing. You can't heal them by feeling them. Feeling them just perpetuates them. Guilty thoughts beget guilty thoughts beget guilty thoughts. Shame begets shame begets shame. What I have found is the most potent thing in my practice, and there's different ways that I do this, is same basic premise. You have to acknowledge it for what it is impeccably. You have to be able to name what the shame belief thought is. And then oftentimes you have to see that it comes from an outside source, that it's not even yours, that you're carrying something, some thought form that you took on, ingested and believed. I call them energetic glues. They kind of hold the system and stuff in place, patterns in place. And so what do you do with an energetic glue? When something's stuck on you, you have to dissolve it. When the shame comes up, it's just like, this feeling comes in. It's just like you feel trapped and glued by it. I have people accentuate it, exaggerate it, acknowledge it fully, breathe into it, because your breath is your most direct link to awareness and consciousness. Breathe it up, acknowledge it, and then I ask them, are you willing? Use your will. Are you willing to completely let this go back to source with gratitude, with consciousness, with love? It's no longer needed here, thank you. This is what free will is all about. We're not free if we're just at the effect of. You have to activate your will, and then in this case, it's almost like bringing it up and commanding or asking, praying, requesting, whatever word you use, please, I want to let this go now. See it for what it is, as foreign energy. It's not your authentic self. It's an imprint. You've been infected by some collective viral belief. So it's up to you. The antidote is seeing it consciously and then consciously choosing to release it. And of course, you won't release it if you're in resistance to it or you believe it. It stands to reason that if it's true that guilt and shame shut us up and shut us down, have us hide and conceal, what's the antidote to guilt and shame? Revealing. Talk about it. Talk about it, talk about it. Name it, talk about it. Whatever these things are that we think, I can never heal this. It will never go away. This thing I did, I can't undo it. These stories we tell ourselves about the past that we use to beat ourselves or keep ourselves imprisoned in the present and into the future. You actually can heal these things that, that life says or the collective says, you can never change that. Yeah, you can't maybe change the thing that happened, but how you feel about it, and the story you tell yourself, and the energy that you get from that, the learning and the evolution from that, you certainly can. But you have to be at choice. You have to be willing to do everything I'm talking about. Acknowledge. Everybody got it now? Accept, face and feel, tell the truth. Aligned action.